2 to 6 p.m. on 97.3 The Fan.
KWFN and KWFN HD1 San Diego.
Hi, I'm Wandy Peralta.
Wandy gloves it, sets himself, fires to first in time.
The Padres play here in San Diego, number 1 sports station, 97.3 The Fan.
And Odyssey Sports Station. The workday is coming to an end.
It is 5 o'clock. I will see you all tomorrow.
But Gwynn and Chris are just getting started.
Sports talk it is.
Your hosts, Tony Gwynn Jr.
That boy good.
And Chris Ello.
Max Muncy sucks.
It's time to get you up to speed on all things sports.
Yes! Yes! Yes!
With plenty of nonsense in between.
Oh, look! Here comes our fearless producer!
Gwynn and Chris starts right now on 97.3 The Fan.
2-1, hit hard on the line. That's a fair ball up the third baseline, headed towards the left field corner. Merrill's on his horse. He's at third. Stowers gets to it. Leaper going to hold him through the stop sign. Relay to the plate, not in time, and it gets away. Merrill ran right through the stop sign and comes in to score.
Are you expecting a ticket from the police for running that stop sign at third base?
Come on, Leaper. Holding me on that one? Are we kidding me right now?
What do you got?
No.
Tell us what's going on.
Any ball that's through the outfield and to the wall, you got to score from first. That's how we run this team. So, obviously some guys don't got the speed, but ball to the wall, you got to score from first.
And there it is. Jackson Merrill telling you what he thought of the situation. Welcome in to Gwynn and Chris, Tony Gwynn Jr., Chris Ello, Matthew Scraby. The Padres get game 1 of this 3-game set versus the Marlins. 2-1 victory, and that just happened to be the game-winning run. Jackson, with the ball in front of him, decided that he had a legitimate shot, if not a great shot, to get in. Tim Leaper, from his visual and where he's at, saw it a little bit differently. At the end of the day, Jackson got it right, and the Padres walk away with the victory. Chris, Matthew, how are you guys today?
Yeah, I was going to say, the way the pitching was last night, it's a good thing that Jackson Merrill did that, or we might still be playing. It might still be 1-1. I don't know what Tim Leaper was thinking, honestly, other than that he was lucky he got far enough out of the way so that Jackson Merrill didn't just trample him on his way to home plate. It's a tough job, third base coach, but when you're holding up a runner who ends up scoring as easily as Jackson Merrill did on that play, I think it's pretty clear that Jackson made the right call, and Tim Leaper on that one would have had the wrong call. But hey, the season's going all right now, and the Padres are, coming up with wins, finding ways to get it done again, Tony. And this has been happening all season long, and I think maybe it goes back to just the fact that this team has a little something that's hard to put your finger on. It doesn't show up necessarily statistically, in terms of offense or, pitching and, injuries. But this team, they get more wins that maybe they shouldn't get than most teams, I think. And felt like last night they pulled another one out.
Yeah, listen, I think ultimately it's not really that difficult to figure out. What it is they believe that the guys in that locker room, they don't care what anybody else thinks. They don't really care what the numbers think. I think they are honest with themselves that they have to be better, but that doesn't change the belief. And so when you get in those 1-run games, they feel pretty confident. They feel pretty confident that they're gonna get the victory one way or another. And I just, this team, there really isn't much more to it. They had the game on Sunday where they put up a bunch of runs, but those have been far and few between. Yet This team is 10 games over 500, and I think probably the bigger concern is making sure these starters get deeper than 4 1/3, 5 innings, so that you can have a chance to utilize what is a phenomenal bullpen come postseason time.
Was the decision to remove Randy Vasquez last night more built around the fact that maybe Mike Shildt felt like this was just going to be a one-run game and he wanted to preserve that one-run lead? Or was there something that Randy Vasquez wasn't doing that he wanted to see? Because his pitch count was fine. He hadn't been pitching terribly, but I can understand if Mike Shildt felt like, hey, this is going to be the final score. We just need to get there.
Can I answer before Tony tries? Because Tony knows the answer. I want to guess the answer.
Let's guess it.
I want to guess the answer and say that Randy Vasquez was not pitching fine.
Okay.
He was behind every hitter. He was on 3-2 counts all night long. He got lucky that, Augustine hit a line drive that almost took Manny's glove off, and that was a double play. He gave up 7 hits in 4 innings. He struck out nobody. He was fooling nobody. I honestly felt like I would have taken him out. Like Mike Shildt, to me, couldn't get him out of there fast enough. And as soon as he gave up another hit on another hanging pitch that he basically got away with, that it was only a single, that's why, I think. That's what I saw. Tony, you were there. What'd you think?
I think that I won't go as hard in the paint, but that was pretty. That's pretty accurate. I think Vasquez, he's not a guy who's going to punch a lot of guys out anyway. So no. I don't even pay much attention to that. But he was getting 0-2, 1-2, and then next thing you knew, 4 or 5 pitches later, it's 3-2, some foul balls, and I think we're at the point, and I said this during the game yesterday. I think we're at the point in the year where the rope won't be as long unless it absolutely has to be, right? Bullpen was rested. They had to basically the day off Sunday. None of those guys had to pitch because of the runs they put up. And so I think he saw it as Chris saw it. He was getting out of trouble, but eventually you keep putting yourself in those situations, especially against a hot team like the Marlins were. You're gonna find yourself in trouble. And given the fact that the guys who were coming up in that point, Stowers had almost hit 2 home runs. He hit the second one. He just missed the first one. Those spots are coming up again. And so I think he saw it as, I got all my guys fresh. There's a good chance the way this game is going right now, it's going to be like this. And so he took a shot, and he went. The bullpen was just spectacular, as it always is. And the Padres get game 1, and now you come in here tonight and you hope maybe we could put a few more runs. I could not have to use all 4 of my guys. I can maybe use 2 and then get to tomorrow with a chance to sweep.
The reason I said Randy Vasquez was pitching fine is because we're used to the 7 hits.
But 7 hits is one thing when you're ahead in the count. 7 hits when it's 3-2. Every batter. It wears on you, I think, as a manager. Honestly.
I don't think he pitched bad, but the inconsistency of the starts, right? I mean, that's the second start where he didn't get through the 5th.
Yeah,
4 and a third back-to-back times. Before that, he had a 6th spot where he looked terrific, and I think would love to see him take that step and be that guy more often. He's never going to be a dude who punches out 6, 7, 8 guys. He's always going to be a soft contact guy, but he's got to take the next step from getting 0-2 and being able to get the out in the next 1 or 2 pitches versus consistently getting 1-2, 0-2, and then it's 3-2, and then it's, those pitches eventually wear you down. And so, yeah, man, I just think Mike Shildt saw it as a chance. We need to go get this win right here.
I think another thing that you got to really credit Mike Shildt for, and everybody for, is reconfiguring the rotation coming out of the All-Star break. And I think one of the things that they have done, which served them well last night, is put Nick Pivetta ahead of Randy Vasquez. Why? Because Pavetta's likely not to need those 4 closer guys at the end of the game.
The 4 horsemen.
He's likely not to need them. Vasquez is likely to need them. And it worked out perfectly. They had them all ready to go. And yeah, I mean, Vasquez, look, these conversations to me started in April. They went away a little bit in May and into June. And I thought, all right, he's starting to figure it out. Here's another thing I want to ask you, Tony. With certain pitchers, and most pitchers, when the count's 0-2, you start to nibble a little. You go off the plate. You hope the batter will chase. I don't know that I would do that with Vasquez because I don't know that I can just give up a free ball or two and then expect him to, be okay. And I see when he gets to 0-2, it's almost always automatically 1-2. And I'm thinking, well, let's just get the out now because anyway, Vasquez has got to get better command going forward if he's ever going to be the guy that they want him to be. That's the bottom line in my mind. But, we're being negative on a day we should be positive because they won again. And
I don't know. You seem that you already are kind of there with Vasquez. I think Vasquez's last 2 starts haven't been good, but the 2 previous ones were pretty good. And so, I'm not going to lose sight of that in the last 2 starts. He didn't have a good one yesterday. The bullpen picked him up. Pivetta inevitably was always going to be in front of Vasquez. They just had it that way because you didn't have Darvish. You had Michael King when it started. So, this is typically what happens is the half comes, you reshuffle the deck, you got 4 days to do it. And so that always happens. I think that would have happened regardless. And so now, I think Kolek gets an opportunity. He got some rest, probably some much needed rest. And we'll see what he can provide today. After a 4 1/3, you'd love a 5 and some change, maybe. I think that would be ideal for tonight.
The other thing
you'd love more than that, but I don't.
Yeah, I know. 7 is like a dream in this day and age, which is another subject entirely. Look, there was a 23rd time last night in 100 games, so almost every 4th game, that the bullpen has pitched 4 or more shutout innings. 23 times out of 100. And there's 2 parts of it. A, maybe, AJ Preller's looking at that and says, I cannot tinker with any of this. Because I've talked about, maybe dangling Suarez out here at the trade deadline, but maybe he needs to just keep these 4 horsemen together. And then B, the other thing is it just worries me that this isn't going to hold up forever and ever and ever, but it has so far. I hope we got 2 more months of this. Because as you say, Tony, so often when these guys pitch scoreless baseball, they kind of have to because they don't have a lot of extra wiggle room, which was certainly the case last night. So,
yeah, they don't. And, that's just – it is what it is right now. And the deadline's coming up. It could change. I just want to point out one thing before we go to break. The cut and relay worked out in Jackson's favor because the first throw short hopped the cut guy, and the cut guy then had to shuffle his feet. The read that Tim Leeper got was the right read. My man Stowers got there quick and got rid of it quick. But at that point, the third base coach is looking at the outfielder and where the runner is when he gets to it, because you have to assume the cut and relay is going to be on. So you can't wait beyond that point if you're going to send him or wave him. So at that point, when he got to that ball, I saw the same thing Leap saw, which was hold him up. But he couldn't predict that first throw was going to short hop the infielder, and then the infielder was going to then shuffle his feet.
See, we don't see that.
No, we don't see all. We can't see all of that. But what I saw was the scene in Animal House when the guard is going, "Everybody be calm," and holding both of his hands up, and the entire parade route tramples the guy. That's what I saw for poor Tim Leeper, and I'm just glad that Jackson Merrill missed him going by.
I am too. I'm glad that Jackson got in. That was the game winner. All right, we got to get to break. When we come back, more Gwynn and Chris on the other side.
We finally switched to T-Mobile because with them, we can be connected here and there.
Listos todos. Estas son las mañanas.
Now we just need to harmonize. Switch
Let me
today.
ask you, because you obviously knew, you talked about earlier, coming in 100 short. Did that help you lock in early in the season? Typically, you're a little bit of a slower start, but from the get-go, you've been the same guy all season long.
Yeah. Maybe. I think I kind of started when the season started. I didn't even have that number in it, and then I kind of got hot and started hitting 2-3 hits, 2-3 hits, 2-3 hits, 4 hits here and there. got really hot at one point, and the number started creeping up, and I was like, man, you look up and you're May, and you're like, man, you're only like 20, 30 away. Like this is a possibility you can get even before your birthday. So that kind of got pretty cool. And I was trying to reach it before my birthday. Obviously, it didn't happen. But yeah, I mean, that number was. I think as the season got on, I think it got a little bit more realistic.
Yeah. As you know, we've been rolling along in this season, and you've reached these milestones, and we turn to the rest of the season. As you guys turn to the second half, what are some of the things you think the ball club has got to improve on in order to get where you guys are trying to go?
Everything.
Yeah.
Everything. I think you can't just be like we're good at one thing, we're not in the other. No, I think we got to improve. There's room for improvement in all aspects of our game. Our best bullpen is our best bullpen right now. It's our best bullet. I think there's room for improvement there as well. Obviously, our offense hasn't really been performing as the last 2 months as we started off, but we've had a pretty good record here in the second half as of late. So. And we know we've been underperforming a little bit as a group, as a team. Yeah. But I know we got a lot left in the tank. There's always, I always talk about the roller coaster, and this is a roller coaster. And
it always is.
We got that bad part out of the way early, which is a good thing. And, hopefully the second half, we're better. But yeah, there's a lot of improvement for a lot of things as a ball club. If we want to ultimately, reach our goal, which is winning a championship, we got to be great at all aspects of our game.
Talking to Manny Machado here on Friar Friday, 97.3 The Fan, and you're facing some good pitching with the Phillies this weekend. Now, I always ask Tony these questions, so now I get to ask another professional baseball player. But how do you prepare going into a series knowing that you're going to be facing three guys that are really good?
Yeah, 3 Cy Young guys.
Yeah.
Really good ball club over there. But Shilty talks about this all the time. It's we want to win a championship. We just talked about these are the guys you're going to be facing. Yeah. These are the guys you got to beat. So, how we prepare for them, I think it's a good thing about it. We faced them, maybe a week ago or so. So we kind of, it's kind of fresh in our memory, their bullpen, their guys, how they kind of attacked us. But, just video, man, you kind of had some history with some of these guys. I gotta go do some more research on Wheeler for tomorrow because I can't figure him out.
Everybody got research on him. It ain't just you, dog. That's a great point. And you brought up earlier about how velocity's changed and pitchers have gotten better. Yet you've had the same swing from the very moment you got to the league. Why has it that your particular swing has played through the changes and everything that's happened? You've been able to kind of stay the same. Why is that?
I mean, I think I kind of see. I have 3 swings. I mean, I learned this from a young age, and it was always having multiple different swings, right? Different occasions. Lefties that stand on the opposite side, sinker ballers.
Yeah.
Obviously now it's a lot of induce and sweepers. So I kind of learned that in 2020 when I kind of, I had a lot of wag on my swing on my bat. So I was kind of inconsistent with bat to barrel. And then, when I got here, they kind of told me like, hey, like let's kind of change that. Let's kind of like slow it down. You can stay with your timing. That's more of a timing thing for me, but let's improve it, and I think that improved my, contact, being more consistent with barrels, it helped me lay off a lot more pitches. My walks went up a little bit more. But just kind of having different swings, I mean, I think, people who kind of just stuck like, all right, this is what I work. I mean, it's 600 at bats,
right?
I mean, right. It's offers, it's different guys, different angles. Now it's sweep, this, that. There's so many different things. So I think you can't just have one.
Swing, yeah.
I kind of vary with my stance. I vary with my hands, move them up and down. Just kind of what your body's feeling. You might have slept on the bed the wrong way. We were on a plane for 6 hours, or for that one day we're in a plane for 12 hours. So your body's not gonna feel the same the next day. So how are you gonna make that adjustment? So I think I've been lucky that I have different, and I know how to adapt to those 3 or 4 different styles of my swing. That it's helped me be a little bit more consistent.
No doubt. Well, Manny, you've been fabulous to watch, man, all season long. We certainly.
Yeah, Heavy Hearts. We rejoin you on program. 2:19 is the time. You didn't hear earlier today. That guy, the crazy train, the guy riding the crazy train, the guy driving the crazy train. Ozzy Osbourne passed at the age of 76 today. You know, Scrape, Ozzy Osbourne, along with his music, Black Sabbath, and then his own stuff.
Yeah.
So he's going to go down in history for that. He'll also go down in history, or he should.
I think I know where you're going.
No, for starting reality television.
That's what I thought you were going there.
Yeah. I mean, it was not the first show that we all really tuned into kind of on a daily or weekly basis.
I love that show.
Was the Osbournes, right?
I loved it.
Yeah. I mean,
Sharon!
I mean, it was incredible. I mean, the only thing of the show lacked was closed captioning because and what Ozzy was saying half the time. But yeah, that show started it. I don't know what the date was of the Osbournes. Look that up. But I don't think there was any Real Housewives shows then. There was no, any of that stuff. I mean, the Osbournes was the first one, I think.
It was March 5th, 2002.
2002, so that's 23 years ago. Now, the first real one was The Real World, right?
Oh, yeah, probably.
Right,
that was in the 90s.
That was right. That was MTV, The Real World, and I think San Diego is one of the very first locations for that. Somebody who knows a little more about The Real World could, double check that.
Was it San Francisco that was the first one?
I don't know where the first one. I know San Diego was involved in The Real World. But yeah, now, I mean, it's everywhere. Do you know how many channels you can flip through on a given evening and find a reality show?
A lot.
And name any vocation.
Oh, it was New York was the first one.
New York was the first
92.
real world. 92, wow. But Ozzy, I think, was the first, legit, celebrity family that we tuned into. So, yeah. Little saddened by that news today. 2:22 is the time.
Can I say one more thing about the Osbournes?
Of course.
My favorite episode ever was when Ozzy went to Chipotle and they could not understand his order.
What he ordered? Yeah.
They could not understand it. It was great.
I mean, really, listening to that song right there, Crazy Train, you can actually understand.
That's the thing.
Some of the words.
He sings in perfect English, but he cannot speak the English that you can understand.
Ozzy, man. Who is the original Wizard of Oz? Him or Ozzy Smith?
I have no idea.
I think Ozzy Smith might have been first, but it was close. Grab your club's tees and tee off for a great cause. Join us, the 4th annual Salute to Heroes Charity Golf Tournament. It's next Monday, July 28th. It's at the Loma Santa Fe Country Club. Golf, food, prizes, and all the camaraderie. All to honor our local heroes and support veterans programs. Register today at SanDiegoSocialLeagues.org. July 28th, next Monday, Loma Santa Fe Country Club, the 4th annual Salute to Heroes Charity Golf Tournament. Let's golf for all those who gave it their all. Greg Vaughn will be there. Olden Polynice, former NBA star. Zab Judah, Arabian Prince, More to be announced. So that's coming up next Monday. I golfed today, Scraby, and since I think I share sometimes when I play well, only fair that I share that when I play terrible, I didn't get a par today. 18 holes, 0 pars. That was like unbelievable to me. Shot 101. On a course I usually shoot low 90s or high 80s even.
Really?
It's just a bad day. Found every water hazard and every sand trap. So if you're having a day like that, you have company. I should also add that my day started before the sun came up. I got up, walked into my office at home in the dark, which is what I do often because I get up early to go for a walk, sometimes to swim. Today was a walk day.
Okay.
Walked into the office in the dark, stepped right in my dog's, you know what? Yeah. She left me a present, and I stepped right in it. That's how the day started.
That was Chris stepping in it.
That was not me.
No, you were stepping in it.
Oh my God. And then I had to, walk. Then you have to walk to the sink to clean it, and you drag it anyway.
Oh my goodness.
You don't even want to know what a nightmare this was to start the day. And I don't feel like it's gotten a whole lot better. Since then? So
was it how do I ask this? Was it new or old?
No, it was
It was new.
It was mushy.
Oh!
Can I tell you? Sorry, everybody. Sorry if you're out there, but I mean, the reason I'm sharing is because there's somebody somewhere is driving along going, God, I'm having a terrible day. And now that I just told them that story, they can at least say, well, my day isn't that bad. So
yeah,
cheer up, everybody.
I mean, it can only go up from there.
You would think, and then I go out and golf and can't get a par. So the day is continued to be. Well, I have a one-word description of the day, but it doesn't qualify for the radio. I do know that it starts with the letters S and H.
Oh, and it ends with a Y?
I believe so.
Oh, man. That's bad.
Can you believe that?
That's bad.
The dog got me.
At least, I'd much rather it be barefoot than on my shoe, just because it's so hard to clean a shoe after that.
But the foot's not great.
No.
You kind of, what happens is, it happens, and then you have that the thought to throw up, you know what I mean? That impulse.
Yeah.
And you have to kind of choke anyway. All right. Let's try to get on. We only have a few minutes. I guess that's why I'm being silly today. Padres do get it, game 2 with the Marlins tonight. It'd be nice to score a few more runs. I think they had 5 singles last night, or 4 singles and a double. And again, if Jackson Merrill doesn't run through the stop sign, the game is probably still going. So they're going to have to find a way, to be a little more consistent offensively. Same lineup tonight, by the way, as last night. In terms of the batting 9, the order, the only difference, Cronenworth will play first base tonight. Iglesias will fill in at second. And that means Arise gets the DH tonight. Other than that, it's the same lineup.
There's a growing rumor mill around Jake Cronenworth being traded by the Padres, which I
don't buy that one.
I don't necessarily buy it either. It's I don't understand why you would.
Well, the rumor, if you haven't heard it, the rumor is that Cronenworth, and it was mentioned by the Athletics, which is a pretty good
Dennis Lynn.
Yeah, pretty good, reputable thing. Dennis knows what he's talking about normally. Dennis Lynn, and I'm not saying he's not right, but he's saying that there have been some talk of Cronenworth moving with Jason Adam to the Oakland Athletics for Mason Miller, the 99 to 100 mile per hour right-handed flamethrower.
Please do not send Jason Adam to the A's, please.
No kidding, that would seem very unfair. I don't know if I want Jake to have to go there either.
Well, that's true. Either of them, that would be messed up.
But Mason Miller, according to this, would then become a starter. That's the rumor. So we're sharing it with you. It's out there. There's so many other rumors out there.
I don't know if I believe that.
And the bottom line is, I said it last week. If AJ Preller's, if we were, silly enough to think that he listens to this stuff and reads all the stuff on Twitter and the rumors, he's got to just sit back in his office and laugh.
He probably does.
Realizing how wrong we are on 99% of this stuff.
I think it would be funny to be a fly on the wall.
Yeah. But here's the other part of it, Scraby.
What?
Between now and the deadline, if you and I and Dennis Lynn and Kevin Acee and everybody on the MLB network and, Bob Nightingale and everybody, if we all guess at enough stuff between now and August 1st,
something will hit.
Somebody's going to get it right. If you're the one that gets it right, just don't give me the I told you so thing, because I think it's just luck, to land on one of these trades.
I do like Mason Miller. He's got lots of contract control, but I do not like Jason Adam is the key to this bullpen. He gets you to Robert Suarez.
I think so. I think I'd rather trade Suarez
if we're talking about
Adam
those two,
the closer,
yeah,
than trade Adam and not have an 8th inning guy. But maybe they think if Mason Miller, maybe their scouts say to the Padres, he could be a starter. And they desperately need another starter, the Padres. Even if Michael King comes back.
What does that mean for Michael King? Like,
no, I don't know, but even if he comes back, anyway, that's kind of the latest thing being discussed. But so many things are being discussed that I think you have to take all of it with a grain of salt.
Agree.
So we will do that. The other baseball story today, since we don't have a lot of, I want to get into it for a minute. Rafael Devers has granted the Giants their wish and request, and he will play first base tonight.
See, you're part of the problem.
It only took him 2 months to agree to do this. He was traded to the Giants on June 15th. Today is 1 month, July 22nd. Took him 5 weeks to finally say, you know what? Okay. Here's the thing. You can say whatever you want about Devers, and you're not going to be able to change my mind what I think of the guy. Will Clark, the famous Giants first baseman, was asked by the Giants to come down and work with Rafael Devers. And on more than one occasion, not just one time, more than once, according to Will Clark, Rafael Devers just didn't bother showing up.
Are we talking about the one incident that happened while you're on vacation?
Will Clark says it was more than once. Will Clark said it was more than once that he was supposed to work with Rafael Devers and help him and just show him around first base a little bit. More than once, according to Will Clark. I don't know why he'd lie. He says Rafael Devers did not show up. Beyond that, I don't really care what Rafael Devers does. The fact that he would not do that shows me what this guy's all about. And I'm going to just give you one last thing. Since June 15th, the day the Giants traded for this guy, they're 11-18. Since the day that the Red Sox traded him, they're 17-12. Could it have been subtraction by addition for the Red Sox by getting rid of this guy? Maybe we blame the Red Sox for all of this because they didn't treat it right and they put it in the media and they made him look bad and all of that stuff. Maybe they just did know all along that he was a pain in the, you know what?
It could be true.
I don't know what's the bottom line. Devers will probably go to first base. So, hit 10 home runs the next week and everybody say it was worth it. But as of right now, I think the Red Sox are thrilled that he's gone, and I'm not so sure the Giants are all that excited to have him.
I think Buster Posey is realizing you probably shouldn't trade for a disgruntled star.
I'm just saying,
quote-unquote star.
Well, look, I mean, if he doesn't want to play first base, fine. If he has aversions to it, I get it. We've talked about it. I understand it. And I want to go out there and embarrass yourself if you can't do something or don't feel confident. But if they set you up with a hallmark person of the franchise, Will Clark, and more than once you just stand him up, you don't show, what's that tell me about you? I can't deal with stuff like
Will
that.
Clark revelations? Because we dealt with this while you were on vacation, and he said it was because the Red Sox were in town and he didn't want to be a spectacle in front of the Red Sox bench. Now, that doesn't clear Rafael Devers of not being like, hey, Will Clark, you don't need to be there because I'm not going to come out. Like, there needs to be communication.
Nothing clears him as far as I'm concerned. But that's just me. I can't stand people who give me the attitude that they are just better than whoever it is that did decide to show up and try to help you.
I
can't do it.
I'm with you.
Can't root for Rafael Devers. Won't root for Rafael Devers.
Real quick, tune into the Manager's Report with Mike Schilt this Friday at 9 a.m. on Ben & Woods. The Manager's Report is refreshed by EcoWater SoCal. Try alkaline water for just $9.95 a month. EcoWater SoCal, keeping it soft since 1925.
All right, I'm not rooting for Rafael Devers tonight, who's making his first start at first base, but I am rooting for 45-year-old Rich Hill.
I'm not.
Who's back in baseball.
There's nobody out there that's better than Rich Hill.
Starting tonight for the Kansas City Royals in Wrigley Field against the Cubs.
That's crazy.
It's his 14th team, which ties the all-time record held by Edwin Jackson.
That's kind of cool, though.
If Rich Hill fails to get the job done, the Royals have already called me and I'll get the next shot at
Oh
it.
yeah? I think you got it.
Yeah, I think I have just as much chance of being successful. We got a game now, Sam Levitt's pregame show. We got a game in the morning tomorrow. Then Tony will be traveling, but Scraby and I will be here for a full 4 hours at 2:00 to wrap up this Miami series. So enjoy the rest of your day. Don't step in any thing that I stepped in. All right, good luck to you.